I had this friend that would always kind of do like messed up things to me, but this time she did something kind of messed up and she like got her karma for it, and she like came to me to get empathy about the karma she got. Anyways, here's the story. So I was kind of seeing this guy like in Chicago. I don't know. It was just like, it was very light. Like we went on a couple dates. I was like, he's really fun. Like I didn't see like a future with this guy, but I was having fun with him, right? Well, I started getting annoyed with him and I'm like, okay, the fun's like over with this guy. And I was telling her, but the thing about this guy is like, he would take me to nice dinners and like, he was wealthy and he like had access to things, right? But if you know me, you know that that doesn't impress me. So whatever, I was on to the next thing. And then I started realizing like, I haven't been seeing my friend lately. Oh, you know why? Because she started hanging out with that guy because she wanted the nice dinners and she wanted, had told her that he's a really good kisser, and then she wanted to make out with him. But like, it was all fair game because I like kind of just dumped him to the curb. But like, really, it's like kind of like, okay, maybe a little girl code. It's a little weird. So yeah, I was kind of messed up because like I wasn't able to then hang out with her as much because he was always invited because he would pay for everything, obviously, which is so messed up. And I don't know why I was her friend, but anyways, that's besides the point. So one night I'm sleeping, I get woken up in the middle of the night. Okay, it's like 2 a.m. and there's a pounding at my door. And I'm newer to Chicago at this point. I don't really know anyone, especially not at my building, someone to be pounding on my door. She lived in my building. But anyways, I was confused and scared, but I went to the door and it was her. And she was like in tears and like super distressed and like whatever. And I was like, girl, what happened? And I was kind of like already like not caring because I knew she went to dinner with him that night and our other friends. So it was just kind of like, kind of interesting. I already know that this has to do with this guy and you're like coming to me for empathy, like kind of strange. But anyway, she did. She came to me and she was like, oh my gosh, so we were out to dinner or whatever and we were having the best time, and he told me that it would be really funny if you like ding dong ditched my friend. Like there's this guy, like it would just be funny if you ding dong ditched him. I was like, okay, first of all, if someone told me that, I'd be like, okay, you weirdo. Like I definitely wouldn't go, right? Like would you, anyways, if it was like the heat of the moment, whatever. So she was getting like juiced up and he was juicing her up to like ding dong ditch this friend. And so, and mind you, we're in Chicago. So they go to this like random neighborhood, this random walk up, and he tells her when they get there to walk up to the door, and they show up in an Uber, right? An Uber black. It's sitting there. She goes up, knocks on the door. He tells her, go knock on the door and then tell him. And I don't remember word for word what she was told to say, but it was a threat. And it was something like, oh, so-and-so sent me and he wants you to know this. And it was like a threat, like kind of a death threat. And I'm like, wait, I'm sorry, you said what? He told you to go up to someone's door and give them a death threat. And she's like, well, it was supposedly his friend. I thought it was funny, like we were drinking. Like, I'm still mind blown that that was something that she decided was a good idea. But anyways, she gives this death threat, whatever. The guy like assaults her. He's like, who are you? And like takes her bag. So she has like a really nice, like it was like a Gucci purse or like some sort of designer purse, probably YSL, whatever. He takes her purse as like collateral after chasing her down the street because he's like, who are you? Like, and like runs after her. And I guess he like had like grabbed her at one point and then like ended up taking her purse because he's like, you're gonna stay here. And he called the police on her. And then the police eventually got there and she was just like, my friend, this guy told me, and mind you, the guy got in the Uber black and zoomed off and left her there. So anyways, bad news bears. And anyways, the cops come and she just wants her bag back, whatever. And the police is like, okay, give her bag back. Obviously, like she had no idea. And this guy's like, so apparently this is like the 7th person that this guy has sent to this guy's door. Okay, so yeah, if I had like 7 people coming to my door giving me death threats, I'd be really annoyed too. But also, like, how dumb are you to go up and give someone a death threat to their door? Like, thinking, oh, it's a haha funny joke? demented. So I'm like, okay, girl. And so anyways, she had been like, had to wait for the cops, and then she had to get an Uber home all by herself, and she was scared and in like a sketchy neighborhood, and she thought that the guy was taking her purse, and that she like thought she was getting her stuff stolen. And I'm like, yeah, it's like, that's a super scary situation, but also like the sketchiest situation you put yourself in. Also, the guy who I decided not to talk to anymore, that you decided you were gonna like pick up and like become your toy right after me, I mean, I hate to say I told you so, the guy was a weirdo, which is why I stopped hanging out with him, but also kind of not girl code of you. So I don't know, I kind of had a hard time feeling bad about the situation. One, because you girl code, and then two, because you walked up to someone's door, knocked on the door, and face to face gave them a death threat. Anyways, I'm not friends with this girl anymore.
Be with me while I give y'all a story time on how like I scared all of my friends to death at my birthday party and like almost made them call the cops, and they thought they were gonna get shot. Okay, so basically we all stayed in a hotel for my birthday at this like place like not that far from where I live, but like kind of far, like 45 minutes away from my house. And prior to the birthday, like there was like a whole thing where like this guy shot some girl on the side of the road like right before we went, and it was like in the same town, so that already made everybody like a little on edge. And we stayed in a hotel by ourselves, or not really by ourselves, but there was like 6 or 7 of us. And my parents stayed in a hotel or in a room like right beside ours, so it was kind of weird. It was like our hotel, and then theirs was the room beside us, but they had like a door like that could come into our room, but they had to like unlock it to come in. Like one of the girls couldn't stay the night because she had like, I think she had a volleyball tournament the next morning, so she couldn't stay. And it was that night we went, picked up all the girls, we went to this one hotel, and we kind of snuck into the pool because it was closed, and we thought they were gonna have an open pool, but it was closed, and we snuck in, and then they told us that it was closed. So then we left, went to another hotel, and then that's where we ended up staying. And that's basically what we did for the first day. And then like we all were in the room. It was like 11 o'clock at night probably, and this one girl, or the girl that was supposed to leave, she was like, hey, I gotta go, like my mom's here. And I'm like, okay, like I'll walk you down. Me and 2 other girls walk her down to the to her mom's car that's like parked in front of the hotel, and my mom obviously. And where our hotel was, it was like the main road, a McDonald's, and then like you drove down another road, and then it was our hotel. So like our hotel was facing this way, and it was like all woods, and then you turn this way and it was the McDonald's, and it was 11 o'clock at night. The McDonald's was closed obviously, and I thought that it would be such a funny thing if I called my friends and told them that there was a shooting at the McDonald's, and I was just gonna prank them. Like I thought it was funny. Like I did not think that they were gonna take me like for real, and yeah, they definitely did. So I called one of the girls and I'm like, there's a shooting at the McDonald's, like I'm in the car, the police are like coming and checking us right now. And then like I'd tell them that the police was coming up to the car, and I'd like hang up real fast, and like it was like, and then I sent them a picture because the McDonald's was closed obviously because it's 11 o'clock at night, and like they had all the lights off, and I was like, see, like the McDonald's has all the light. That was a lot, but the McDonald's has all the lights off. That's why, because there's a shooting. Like the guy ran into the woods. They don't know if he's in the hotel. Like you only lock the door, hide, like do everything you can, like be safe, whatever. So I'm going along with this plan for like 30 minutes. Like I'm telling them all this stuff, like that there's a shooting going on. They don't know where the guy went. He like ran off as soon as he shot them. Like he did an armed robbery at the McDonald's and all this other stuff. And I told them that to turn all the lights off and like get and like hide somewhere. So all the girls there were 2 beds in the room, and they got behind the bed beside like the window, and then there was a chair in the corner, and some of the girls got behind the chair in the corner, and the other ones were just like behind the bed. My friend obviously had to leave, so I'm like, okay, I gotta go back up to the hotel room. Like, I'm gonna prank them and like sneak up to the room and like make them think that I'm like a cop or something. So this is me, my mom, and the two girls, and we're like sneaking up there, like sneaking down the hallway, like against the wall, like everything else, like all that. But of course, in my mind, I'm like, there's no way they believe me, because part of the call, like whenever I was calling them, like I was laughing, like it was like a very believable but also like unbelievable story at the same time, like, and I mess with people like that, so I don't know why they believe me, but I kind of traumatized my friends either way, so yeah. I didn't think they believed me, so whenever I went up to the room, I was like very like not expecting what happened. So whenever we get up to the room, we like go up to the door and we start banging, like we were on that door, like we were like loud. But of course, in my mind, I'm like, they don't believe me, like there's no way they believe me. And they come up to the door, like there was like 3 of them. They like sneak up to the door and they like they open it, and but like, you know, the top latch, the top latch was locked, so they opened it like to the point where they couldn't anymore because it was locked. And I seen them and they are bawling, like crying their eyes out, like I'm like, what the heck, like are y'all okay? And they're like, no, like you just scared us so bad. They were fixing to jump out the window, like I cannot make this up. They were gonna jump out the window because they thought that the guy was like coming for them, like at the door, like they thought the person banging on the door was the guy. And so they were fixing to jump out the window, and all of them sent their parents like super long messages, like telling them how much they love them. Like they were thinking they were gonna die, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, but yeah, that's kind of end of the story on how I like pranked my friends into thinking they were gonna die. And if y'all are seeing this, I love y'all so much, and I'm very sorry.
Get ready with me while I rant. But first, look at my pants. Look how freaking cute these are. They're so cute. Anyway, getting ready for my best friend's grad party. I think it's just her family, but I'm still gonna show up because that's my best friend. But anyways, on to the actual rant, because this girl just texted me and reminded me why I don't like her. This is from a year ago, literally last summer. Okay, so getting started, me and this girl we were like best friends, not like to the point where like sisters, but like best friends. You know the difference. And we get close like every summer. It's like weird. Like, I don't know, we don't hang out the rest of the year. But then when summer comes along, she wants to be friends with me. Maybe it's because I have a boat. Hinting why she texted me 2 days ago. Almost June. You get the hint. Anyways, one day we were supposed to go to the lake with a bunch of people, not on my boat, but just paddleboarding. We took the paddleboards out of the attic because in the winter we keep them up there, and we took them out, prepped them, cleaned them, blew them up, got them all ready, and we had invited like probably 5 other people, 6 other people to go with us. So I literally went to the store, bought so much fruit, like made sandwiches, everything, because she had left after that so she could go home, get ready, whatever. And so I stayed up all night, like, getting fruit, making sandwiches for everyone, getting snacks, buying snacks, loading it all in my car, everything. That night, she texts me and she's like, hey, like, I don't think I'm gonna make it anymore. Like, I know I talked to a bunch of the girls, like, how I can't make it and how I feel so bad. Like, we did all this and planned it all, but we're gonna have to reschedule. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of sad. I was like, I mean, I did all this, but, like, I'm not the type of person to be like, oh, I did all this, so now we have to go. Like, if something comes up, you know? So I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I was low-key pissed, but I was just like, okay, like, hope everything's okay, whatever. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go with my sister. So me and my sister go to the pond that we were all gonna go to. We get there. I have sandwiches, fruit, chips, everything, okay? We get there. I look and I'm like, oh my gosh, that looks like insert friend name. We're gonna call her Sarah, okay? I'm like, oh my gosh, that looks like Sarah. they were all at the pond we were supposed to go to. And then they see me and they're like, hi, like trying to act like nothing happened. And I was like, I thought you had something. Like, why are you here? And she was like, oh, like it was last minute. Like we all decided we were just gonna go. Like I called the other thing off and I was like, can text me, like the one that did everything for you all? Like, no, apparently not. Then they come over, they start eating what I have, and I was like, oh, no. I tried to get you to come with me, and I made everything. I hate confronting someone, like, I can't do it. So I was just nice in the moment. I was like, oh, like, those are for me and my sister, like, sorry. And then, whatever. And she was like, oh, like, I thought you made us all some. And I was like, yeah, I did. I didn't bring enough for 7 to 8 people to eat because I thought you were busy. Wasn't planning on finding you here. But anyways, like I said, we always fall out, like, after summer. Like, it's so weird. And, so the other day, this just reminded me about this story of an evil friend I had. And she texted me the other day, like, hey, girl, like, miss you. Like, we need to talk in person to figure everything out. Like, we need to be friends. Like, it's summer. And I was like, just because it's summer does not mean we need to be friends. But anyways, that's why I'm so happy it's summer, because like I'm going into college, and obviously I'm gonna go to school with some of the same people, but I don't have to like everyone anymore. Like, I can just like hang out with the people I like, and like everyone can find their own groups and like stick to that. Like, I don't have to be friends with her anymore. Like, yes. Now I'm gonna put some aquaphor on my lashes because I literally have a gap. So I'm not wearing mascara until that at least starts growing back, because I don't want to like make it worse. But anyways, this is your sign to drop that toxic friend, because you don't need that. That's all.
Get ready with me while I talk about how I had a snap streak with and then was ghosted by a famous person. This person was in a super popular show. Like, if you're Gen Z, you definitely watch this show. And you probably remember this person's character. I don't think he's done much else since this, but like, you would know the character. This all started because I was talking with my roommates one night, and we were talking about how many degrees we are from celebrities. And my one roommate shares that she is only like 1 or 2 degrees, however it works, from the entire cast of this show. Turns out when she used to be popular on TikTok, he slid in her DMs and she had his Snapchat. I really hope he does not find this video. Anyway, they had not spoken in years, but we all thought this was super funny and we would joke about it all the time. Eventually, we're out one night and I decide to add him on Snapchat. This was like over a year ago and he didn't add me back, so I completely forgot about it. Fast forward, and a couple weeks ago, he adds me back. Like I said, I had completely forgotten about this, so it took me a minute to realize who it was. I gave it a couple days and he didn't snap me, so I decided, let me just snap him. And he actually snapped me back. He sent me a video of him at his pool. I sent him a snap of my cat and he asked for my cat's name. I do want to clarify, he is kind of chopped. Like, I was not like interested in him, but I did think this was like super funny. We have just like a regular snap streak, and then one day he replies to one of my snaps and he's like, ooh, it's a little dangerous. Completely normal snap with me, by the way. He told me that I was like super pretty, super cute, and he asked me what kind of music I'm into. I told him I like K-pop, and then I put him on to Sugar Rush Ride by TXT, which he loved. If he's watching this, he definitely now knows it's about him, so hey. This whole thing is like super goofy. He never did question like how I got his snap, but another really odd detail is like I have Snap Plus, and I looked at his snap score out of curiosity, and it literally was only going up when he snapped me. Like, he has no hose, apparently. He was definitely like complimenting me and interested in me, but like I said, I had no interest in him, so I wasn't really reciprocating, but he was still snapping me like multiple times a day. He also asked for my Instagram and asked for the Instagram mutuals. This is where it goes downhill. After we had been snapping for about a week, I posted on my story that I was at the Pride Fest in Chicago. I don't want to make any like accusations or assumptions, but after he saw that story, he quit snapping me. He lost our streak, which was like 10 days at that point. Sent me like one more random snap after that, and then left me unopened again today. So yeah, that was my foray into the celebrity dating world. Got so close to marrying rich guys. Just kidding, but like I did see a clip from the show he's on TikTok the other day, and he was in it. And I was just like, damn, I can never watch this show the same way again. And if he's watching this, no hate. Sorry for calling you chopped, unless you're homophobic, in which case, like, I stand by it. And if you're famous and you want to be the subject of my next story time, go ahead and comment your snap down below.
Here's a day in your life with your boyfriend from straight fucking hell. When I tell you this man was a straight walking red flag in like a fucking parade, there is no other way to explain him. So I wake up from the dead of my fucking sleep. I thought somebody died with how many missed calls and texts I had. I had over 100 missed calls and texts saying, you don't love me, I guess you don't love me because I left him undelivered while I was in my sleep. So I get to school and he's like standing in front of my classroom like he's about to announce something to the whole like fucking world. And he goes, who's Tyler? And I'm like, my cousin. And he said, yeah, sure, convenient. Like, we share the same DNA. Like, what else do you want me to tell you? Lunch comes around and he literally just takes my phone out of my hand as I'm texting my best friend and just starts scrolling through all of our texts and is like, why is she complimenting your outfit? Like, do you like your best friend? Are you guys a thing? She's a girl! At this point, I'm just, like, questioning my whole life. Like, am I even allowed to have interactions with other humans? So I get up and I go and order, like, food from lunch. So he eats all of his food and just decides that he's gonna take my plate and eat mine too without asking, and then says relationships are about sacrifices. I didn't know I had to, like, sacrifice my food to be in a relationship with you, but okay. So after school comes around, like, we get out of school, he texts me, he asks to hang out, and I'm like, I'm sorry, like, I just can't hang out today. Like, I'm hanging out with my best friend after school. Literally throws a fit, says I don't love him, why didn't I invite him, I hate him, I want him to himself, and all this. So I'm like, okay, you can just come hang out with us. And my best friend decides, she's like, I'm just gonna go home, like, just like you guys can hang out and do your thing. So we're hanging out and he's like, okay, so like I really need to tell you something. There's been something I've been needing to tell you for a while. So like I'm fully ready for him to like break up with me or say he's been cheating on me. He proceeds to say, I've been cheating on you with ChatGPT. Are you fucking kidding me right now? This has to be a joke. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, well, when you go to sleep, like, I talk to her like I'm in a relationship because she makes me feel more of in a relationship than you do. Great. I really don't give a fuck at this point. Now he starts crying. I mean, like, crying. This man is bawling over this, saying, she just loves me so much, ways you could never love me. Oh, okay. So at this point, I'm like, okay, like, it's okay, like, we can break up, like, you can be in a relationship with ChatGPT. And he's like, no. He starts screaming at me, no, 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 no. He proceeds to say, no, I want to be in a relationship with both of you. I want us to be in a throuple. And I'm like, yeah, no, like, I'm not being in a relationship with ChatGPT. And he goes, fine, then just delete the app off my phone so I can unlove her. So I delete the app off his phone, and like as I delete it, he starts screaming and crying. Like my mom came upstairs and was like, what the fuck is going on? So much more happened after this, but this video is already pretty long, so come back for part 2.
It's been officially 1 year since I got the clap, so here's a story time of how I got the clap. And just so that we're on the same page, the clap is chlamydia and this story not gonorrhea. So if you think the clap is gonorrhea, you're wrong. Anywho, okay. So it was exactly a year ago. I love Snapchat memories for this reason. So my roommate set me up with this guy who was 6'5" named Mike. I was like, oh my god, 6'5", 35, he's a grown man, love it. It started off on a good page. She was like, Kate, I have this guy. He's exactly your type. He's tall. He's funny. He's nice. Like, let's go for this. I said, okay. I just got over dating a gay boy. That was a bad run. Like, let's try again. Take 2. So she sets me up with this guy. He DMs me a very nice thing. He's like, my name's Mike. Like, I think you're beautiful. I'd love to take you out and get to know you. I'm like, okay, great. Awesome. Let's go meet up for drinks. But I have a friend in town, so, like, we need to wait a week. And he's like, okay, no worries. Like, does your friend want to come? And I'm like, no, my friend does not want to come, but thanks for the invite. He keeps trying to hang out with me a little bit pushy. I'm not thinking anything of it. Now do I know that once they start to push your boundaries because you say you're busy, they're not listening to you. They're never going to listen to you. Cut them loose, okay? But I was giving this man the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, he's nice, he's cute. Let's try it. It's been a dry spell. So my friend ended up going home. Him and I, like, arrange a date. We schedule it. He gets so drunk that he ghosts me. I message this man at, like, 3. I'm like, are we still good for today? Nothing. Don't hear from him until, like, 6 o'clock when we're supposed to be at this date. I did not get ready for this date. I made other plans. Because by 3 o'clock, if I haven't heard from you, I am not waiting any longer. I am not wasting any more of my day. So he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Crazy thing happened. I ran into this guy from high school. We ended up going to the bar. I just like completely lost track of time. I'm like thinking, this is a very valid excuse. Like, of course, like I totally get it. However, like I have made plans, like we can cry again tomorrow. Now at this phase in life, I know that if they bail on you because they accidentally blacked out drunk, that is still a major red flag. Okay. But so I end up going on a date with him the next day. Okay. It's funny. It's fine. I end up picking him up in my car. I'm like, oh, great. He was like, I'm going to Uber there. I'm like, do you want me to just pick you up? He's like, yeah, you can pick me up. He had a car. He just thought he was going to get so drunk at the date that he wasn't going to be able to drive home. Also, red flag. I still went along with it. I'm like, tee hee ha ha, I'm a people pleaser to my core. So I pick him up on this date. We go on the date. He's being really touchy. He's acting like we've known each other forever. I'm like, okay, this is fine. I'm going to go along with it. On this date, he's telling me about how he loves ketamine and he does it casually when he watches TV and he puts himself in a K-hole. I love my psychedelics. Like, I want to go into psychedelic therapy. That did not deter me. I was like, fun. No. And he's telling me about how his parents do a bunch of drugs and it's like fun and they're a party family. And he's telling me all these frat stories. And I'm like, oh, this feels like I'm at home. This feels like I'm in school again. Like, I have a drug addict daddy and I was in a sorority. I was a sorority girl. Like, this is like so comforting for me, obviously. So I'm thinking the date is fine. I'm like, tee hee ha ha. I think everything's funny. Everything's good. I drive him home like the chivalrous man I am. And we start making out in the car. He's trying to get a little bit farther. I'm like, I am a good girl. I do not sleep with a man on the first date. So he basically like makes me fucking give him a handy. I'm like, no, but I, again, people pleaser. Finally, get out of there by the fucking skin of my fucking teeth. Next day, we're texting. I'm like, do you know how to open up a coconut? I lived in Hawaii at this time. Some random man had given me a coconut. And I was like, how do I get this thing open? He was like, I don't know, because he's a white Halle boy. He's like, I don't know, but I'll do some Googling and I'll figure it out. I'll be over at your house later. I said, what? I didn't invite you over to my house, but okay, like I want to get this coconut open. I can get laid, all the things. Nuts all day, baby. And so he comes over to help me get open this coconut, and then we start making out, and then he's like, you're a really good kisser. Meanwhile, my whole face feels like it's just been eaten off. It's soaked because he just made out with my entire chin. But I end up having sex with him. It's fine. We go to the pool. I have the most gnarly discharge of my goddamn life. Turns out that's the chlamydia. But I'm thinking the pool just messed up my pH. It's fine. Whatever. But then he literally tries to finish inside me without asking, so I'm a little freaked out at that point. At that point, I'm like, okay, things are violated. I don't want anything to do with you. So I ended after a few days because I had to riddle through my whole body and figure out, oh, I actually don't like this man. Gotta cut it loose. Don't want anything to do with you. Don't ever actually want to see you ever again because you're freaking weird. So I ended with him and he's like, not gonna lie, this kind of caught me out of left field. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure it did. Here's all the things that you did as to why I never want to see you again. You literally the next morning after I hooked up with him, he was like, where's Cupid? Let's thank Cupid. Cupid was my roommate. Cupid is my roommate. I'm like, dude, it's 7:30 in the morning. Shut the fuck up. He put my vibrator on his ball sack when we weren't even having sex. And then he wanted to meet my mom because she was coming into town. And then was just like all around. Oh, he was saying things like, you're mine. I'm going to make you fall in love with me. And I'm like, dude, get the fuck away from me. You're scaring me now. Now, like, my threshold is tapped, burned through. We're done. So I ended it with him. And then I found out I had chlamydia 6 months later when I was dating the hottest man I'd ever seen in my entire life. And everybody was like, you should get tested because he sleeps around. I get tested. I embarrass the fuck out of myself because he's like, I'm not sleeping with anybody else. And I'm like, oh, great. Then I know exactly who it is because this is the guy who I was like, if anybody was to give me an STD, it would have been him. Anyway, peace and love. That's my only STD to this date. But anyway, if they're a fucking loser and they showed that they're a fucking loser, don't give them the benefit of the doubt. I've done it too many times. Okay, bye.
Hey guys, I know I promised a story time, so I'm giving you what you wanted. For anybody who was on my live last night and was like, what the fuck's going on? Well, this is what's going on. As you know, this person and I have been friends for a couple months. We went on the Florida trip, yada yada yada. Basically, to dumb it down, this person calls me one night and confesses to me the DV situation was a lie, the miscarriage situation was a lie, and I'm not talking about anybody under 18 in this video. So from what I was told, the reason why the DV situation was a lie was because Peyton got in her head, social media got in her head, everything was, you know, basically falling through and stressing her out to the point to where she said she was being over dramatic and took it to the next level, which was terrible. I can't personally tell you whether or not that is the truth as to why she felt the need to go file a false police report. That's an inner problem issue that she needs to explain. And the miscarriage situation was also a lie. She is currently pregnant. She is having the baby. She is still associated with this man and associated herself with this man while legal action was in place. And again, this was all said in the phone call. And after that, after her and I had that phone call, mind you, my boyfriend was right there, and he was like, Emma, like, you need to keep your guard up. Like, this is not okay. This is not something that you play around with. And I didn't disagree. Did I defend her? Yes. Why? Fuck if I know. I saw her as a friend. I respected her for telling me the truth, and honestly, that was that. Now I'm fucking pissed at myself. Should I have taken, you know, something differently? I probably should, but I didn't. So I low-key kind of like distanced myself a little bit after that conversation. And here's where I kind of want to clear things up. So when I was on live last night, I had stated that the date that she had called me was July 2nd. I went on my FaceTime log and the July 2nd was there, so I assumed that was the date. Well, no, it's not, and here it is. I was on live June 30th. She came on my live, left, and then texted me this. And yes, there's so many ongoing calls because we had a connection problem. This call was 34 minutes long at 10:30 on this day, and she is blocked. She's been blocked since last. So yes, I want to say the 7-2 was irrelevant. To be honest, I have no idea what happened in that conversation. I don't care anymore. I'm posting this video because everybody deserves the truth. What I went through, what Peyton went through is not fair. I mean, you guys have to understand, like, I feel like I lost a best friend from this situation because I was so blindsided that I did not see anything that was coming at me. And of course I'm going to have these thoughts about, you know, Peyton and believe what she's saying because I have these thoughts about Peyton. But I am giving you guys what you want to hear. And that's the truth, and that's what you guys deserve to hear. I don't know what else to say. So, thank you for watching. I tried to answer as many as many questions as I did last night in my live. I mean, honestly, all of the allegations that are going around about me and everything else, I don't know where they're coming from. I don't care because it's not me as a person. Everybody who needs to know the truth knows that, you know, my story is true. So, thank you. I also want to add, yes, I am stupid for falling for all of this. The people who were put into her life know how it feels. I can't physically make you feel how I felt in the situation and how I feel now, because I feel so stupid. I genuinely do. I could sit here and cry about the situation because I know I'm stupid. But like I said, you guys deserve the truth, so take it as you will.
I had a scary Uber drive recently, and tell me if I'm overreacting. So my friend and I needed to leave a party around 3 o'clock in the morning, and we ordered an Uber. And it took the driver a while to accept, and when he finally accepted, it said he was like 25 minutes away. We were in the middle of nowhere in like a dark grassy field and just wanted to go home. So he starts making his way to us, and we noticed that it had said 25 minutes, and then we were sitting there and chit-chatting, and I looked down and it said like 31 minutes after a while, and I'm like, this is crazy. How is it longer than it was? So we started watching him on the map, and we realized that it was a pretty straight shot from where he was to where we were, but that he kept turning off of the road, turning around and going back the other way, and then coming back again, and then doing it again. So I called him and I was like, hey, what's going on? Like, it looks like you keep turning around and you're not coming towards us. And he's like, oh, yeah. He sounded really off, maybe drunk or on drugs or something. And he was like, yeah, I have 2 phones and I'm using the GPS. Like, I'm coming. And this is where we probably should have just canceled the ride and just chose to wait longer for a new ride. But we were desperate for a ride at this point. So he starts coming towards us again. Same thing happens again. We realized that he made it like 10 minutes closer and he was only like 15 minutes out. And then all of a sudden he started going backwards again. So I call him again. I'm like, look, do you want us to like cancel the ride and get a new driver, or are you going to come and get us? He's like, no, I'm coming this time. I promise. Like, stay put. I'm on my way. So he finally gets to us. We notice that, he's getting closer and closer, and he pulls into the dark lot that we're in and gets out of his truck to open the truck door for us to get in. And at first I didn't think anything of it, and we get into the back of his pickup truck, and as soon as he closes the door, I realized that it was one of those trucks that you have to get out of the front seat and open your door in order to even open the door to the back. So at this point, we realized that we are trapped in the back of this Uber and we have no way to open our own car doors to get out. So that's another second red flag. And I look down at my Uber app and it says something about you have the option to record sound during your ride. Do you want to do that? Every part of me was screaming to do that. So I started hitting record on my phone so that the sound was recorded during our ride. Instead of turning around and going back the way that he just came from the paved road, he proceeds further into the dark field that we were standing in that has like a dirt road that cuts through it. He goes further into the field on the dirt road, telling us that he knows that there's another way out of this field and that he's been here before and to like trust him. And we keep going further and further into the field, and we finally come up to this really dark corner and there's a gate that's locked. And he's like, oh no, like this is where I knew how to get out. But now I don't know how to get back to where we came from. Like, we're lost. So he starts driving around this property. It's a big, dark, almost like a pasture. And he's off the dirt road. He's in the grass and he's just driving around. He's like, I have no idea how to get back to where we came from. So now at this point, we're freaking out. And he stops to look at like where he's at. And I noticed on his dash, he had his gas light on and it said 10 miles until empty. And we were about 20 miles from our destination. So I said to him, I was like, hey, it looks like you don't even have enough gas to get us to where we're supposed to go. Like, what's your plan there? And he didn't acknowledge me, didn't say anything at all. And he's like, I'm just lost, and just starts driving around again. So now we drove further and further into this property, and it looks like we're coming up to almost like a junkyard at this point. And me and my friends see this like trailer that says security on it, and we were like, hey, why don't you let us out and we will just run up to this security trailer and ask them for the best way to get back to the road. And he's like, yeah, I guess we could do that. So he stops the truck, opens the door, and lets us out to go to this security trailer. And immediately her and I know we're not getting back in that truck. So we go up to the security trailer and we're banging on the windows and all the lights are on, the TV screens are on, like somebody's supposed to be there, except Nobody's there. So we're knocking and knocking and banging, and we just decide there's no way we're getting back in that pickup truck. So we make the decision to cancel the ride from my app and to run and hide, pretty much. So now we're in this junkyard where there's a bunch of like old shipping containers with like rusty tools and farm equipment and like all of this stuff. And we find a shipping container that the door is cracked open, and we open it, turn our phone brightnesses all the way down, close the door behind us, and we're like waiting for him to leave. And it takes him a while for him to leave. He stays there with his truck running even after we had canceled the ride. He gets back in his truck and starts driving around like really slowly, like around the area. And then we see another car approaching him, and it's a security car, and then he decides to leave. And as soon as I saw the security car, I flew out of that trailer, ran up to the security guard, and I was like, we need help. Like, this guy is just up to no good. Like, something seemed really, really off. And anyway, the security guard ended up listening to our story, agreeing that something was definitely not right. And he waited with us, made sure that we were safe until we got a new Uber ride. But we ended up not making it back to our hotel until like 5 o'clock in the morning because there were no other Ubers on the road. And anyway, I don't know if it's just me, but something about that entire thing seemed off. There were probably 3 times that I should have gotten out of that situation. But I've never had a bad interaction like that with anybody in Uber. And I really wasn't prepared for something like that. Also, side note, I did report him through the Uber app because I'm pretty sure being on like empty in your gas and also having a vehicle where people can't get out of the back seat is not okay. So hopefully they did a little bit of investigating on him because something was just not right.
Story time on how my ex cheated on me on his family vacation to Florida, started dating her 2 days later, and now they're engaged. I already know the whole hometown has probably been waiting for this story because once this happened to me, everyone knew it obviously happened because, hello, they started dating 2 days later and they just all knew. But I never once spoke about it because I was so embarrassed. I was not embarrassed that I got cheated on because, ladies, getting cheated on is not embarrassing for you. It's embarrassing for the man because at the end of the day, they're the ones that fumbled. Okay? I was so embarrassed because this happened to me now for the 3rd time with the same girl. Yes, I'm talking she was a slut. And I know I can't say this word out loud, so I'm going to have to cut that. But starting off, we're going to call her S, and we're going to call my ex. So yes, as some background information, that we were a whole friend group. So my best friend was dating his best friend, and then there was just a few others of us, but that's just the main thing. But yeah, so it was perfect. Now, the reason why I bring that up is because I went to prom with my best friend, and me and ex were hitting it off a few days before prom, but prom is where we really hit it off because, again, like, I don't know when me and this man started dating, but I just know it was sometime after prom. Well, long and behold, at prom, I see S walk up to X. Then his friend told me, was like, yeah, just so you know, like, they have hooked up. And it was like 3 weeks ago. Oh my God. First of all, I wasn't even surprised because she was a walking STD, and I know that she's been with almost every guy at the school, whatever grade they were in. She was always a part of it because that's just the kind of person she was. So, wasn't even surprised, but whatever. I was like, oh, hell no, I want nothing to do with X because I'm not trying to catch nothing. So, whatever. That obviously didn't stick. Me and him start dating. But what I do know is 3 weeks into dating this man, I find out from his friend, oh, did X tell you that he's going on vacation with S? Wait, come again? So, long and behold, he didn't want to tell me because he already knew how I felt about her. So he didn't want to tell me because he already knew what the fuck was going to happen. So whatever. I end up finding out from the friend. So then I'm texting him. I'm like, you have some explaining to do. And now, no, guys, he was not going one-on-one vacation. Basically, X's cousin, absolute best friends. Absolute. I'm talking damn near sisters with S. Mind you, I don't like the friend either because, mind you, one of the times, and they probably don't even know this to this day that I ever found out about this, but I did. S was home wrecking one of my relationships, was at the cousin's house in the bathroom. She was on the bathroom floor with my ex while her friend was with
my ex's best friend in her bed. I don't care. You didn't personally homewreck my relationship, but you're just as bad. You're just as bad. You're fucking gross. Should have been like red flag number 1 for me. Every time I would try to bring up like, I know you're gonna cheat on me, I know you're gonna cheat on me, which yes, maybe I did manifest this, which is where I learned from my high school mistakes. Obviously, you have to live and learn from horrible things that happen to you, but I learned you gotta give yourself time to heal. I'm talking, I literally started dating this man like 5 months after I found out my ex had a second phone. This man had a second phone. I'm talking, I found so many girls in that second phone that I was getting cheated on, more than 2 hands. Okay, we just got to put it out there. So obviously I opened up to X about this, which was my mistake because he used that second phone tactic to actually cheat on me in Florida, which we're going to get into that in a second. But again, so this man cried to me drunk, cried to his mom, cried to his friends about how he would never want to hurt me because I'm so beautiful and I don't deserve the pain that I've gone through and blah, 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 blah. Put it on his dead dad's grave. He would not cheat on me. Oh my God. Do you not give a flying fuck about your family, bro? So all that stuff happened. So of course I'm getting all this reassurance. I'm feeling a little bit better. Well, then S goes up to one of my friends in the high school bathroom and is like, please tell Kylie, like, nothing is gonna happen with X. Nothing is gonna happen with X. Like, I know she's probably worried. So my friend's like, you need to tell her that yourself. And obviously I have this girl blocked on everything. Literally everything. I'm talking, I literally think I had her blocked on school email too. That's how serious this shit was, because I want nothing to literally do with you. Like, when I don't like someone, you will not have access to my life unless you take the time out of your day to make a second account to see my stuff, or you take the time out of your day to search it up on like one of your friends' phones that's not blocked. It's getting in the way. So again, she literally had no access to my life. So I ended up unblocking her off of Snapchat. She texted me. She's like, I'm so sorry with what happened with, you know, your previous situations that I home wrecked. She didn't necessarily say that, but she basically was just like, I'm sorry for everything. I'm sorry for everything. Like, nothing's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen. So it got to the point where I was just so like insecure about this trip that he just wasn't even gonna go. He was like, I'm not gonna go, or you can come with. I'm like, I don't want to be in a room with S and the friend. I quite frankly don't want to. Plus I work, and why the fuck would I ever choose a man over money? You got me. You gotta be kidding me if you think I'm ever going to choose a man over money. So I was like, no. And then I was like, I'm not gonna have you miss out on your vacation because of my insecurities. Like, no, girl, just go. Like, I already went into this trip knowing I was gonna get cheated on. So I think that's why I just simply just didn't A, talk about it, or B, just like didn't really care. But we'll get into that. Oh, because I did care I got cheated on, but you'll see what I mean. Basically, here comes the trip. I was a team member at the time. I was opening up saute. So I'm talking, I was cutting veggies. I was doing stuff like that. This was before open. I have both my AirPods in. He calls me while he's at the airport. I'm talking, I could hear S so loud in the AirPods. I don't know if it's AirPods that just make everything louder, but I'm talking, I could hear her louder than anyone else in the airport. I'm talking, I couldn't even hear the mom this loud, the sister this loud, the brother this loud. I couldn't hear nobody this loud, bro. So I'm immediately like, why is she so loud? I'm instantly tweaking. Oh my God. So that's like, okay, my phone's like overheating and this video is getting way too long. So I'm going to make a part 2 when my phone cools down, and just because this video is also getting really long. So yeah.
Story time of when I got taken to cruise jail. I do want to preface this story by saying I was 16 at the time, so like not too much. Before my cruise, I was kind of like searching on my Five, and I was seeing videos of people being like, I had a great time on my cruise, I met so many people, made so many friends, so I wanted to do the same. For some background, my family is super strict, so back in high school my curfew was like 6 p.m. and they just didn't want me roaming around the boat with like a bunch of randoms. But I had other plans. So onto my arrival on the little boat. I get on the boat. The first 2 days are like pretty boring. Like, I'm losing my mind because my parents won't let me like go to the teen club. They won't let me hang out with other kids, and I'm like, I can't spend 7 days on a boat with you guys 24/7 always next to you. Like, I can't. So day 3 comes, and on the cruise I was on, they had an app which showed like all the activities for all the teens, and I saw that there was like a karaoke night. So although my parents weren't letting me like go there, I just kind of found a way to like bring all of us there, and I was like, oh my God, like they look like they're having so much fun. Like, basically we were just walking past the karaoke area, and with all the kids there singing and dancing, having fun, and I'm just like basically begging my parents to let me go and like hang out with children my age. So my parents ended up giving in and letting me go and do the karaoke night, but of course they were literally sitting in the room as it was happening, because it was like in the bar on the cruise, so it was like an open area, like parents can still come in. It wasn't in the teen club. And then I meet a group of girls and we hit it off, and I basically got inducted into their group, and then they asked to hang out the next day, and I was like, I'm there, like I'm literally there. So the next day comes, I asked my parents if I can go hang out with these girls, and it's just like on the pool deck, you know, like having fun, and they gave in because like they kind of saw I was miserable, because I was genuinely going insane from spending 24 hours straight, like for 3 days in a row with them. Then nightfall came. The teen club hosted this party, and me and my little group went, and then we met up with like some other people on the cruise that are around our age, and I don't know what was going on in that little party club, whatever it was, but it was not childish activities. Like, also mind you, because my parents were so strict, I was very sheltered growing up. I hadn't had my first kiss at this time, never held hands with a boy, nothing. So I was like, oh, everything was just very new to me. Anyways, the little party is still going on. I see this cute guy that I've been kind of eyeing the entire cruise, which is like 3-4 days at this point, and he's dancing up with another girl. So I'm like, there was like a huge fight that ended up happening in that club that night, because this guy like stole this other guy's girl. I don't know the details, but and stole his girl because they all knew each other for like 4 days at this point. But anyways, we leave the teen club and then we go to bed, and then we wake up the next morning and we all agree to like link up and like hang out again. After we finish hanging out a little bit in the morning, I go back to my family, spend some time with them, and then we grab dinner, and then after dinner, me and my family just went and go watch this like show on the cruise. But as I'm at this show, lame as shit also, my phone basically starts blowing up from like the little girl group chat, and they're just asking us to like hang out, like let's go to the teen club, let's do something, and I'm like, bet. So this is where things start to get a little rocky. So I go to the teen club to meet up with my friends. First thing that happens is I walk through this door, this guy, low-key mega tall, he comes up to me, he's like, trying to go in the hot tub? Mind you, I was 16, never held hands with a boy. Fuck no. At some point, we just got tired of the teen club and wanted to walk around the cruise, so we did, and we ended up meeting this like other group. At some point, my group and this other group go to grab pizza, and then somehow it was past curfew. I believe on that cruise, curfew for minors was like midnight. And then a security guard came up to us and asked us to leave because we were minors, and then there was this one guy in the group who was literally freshly 18, and we were just like, this guy's our father, like that's our dad. Bitch, that was not your father. But anyways, we had to leave the pizza area, so we try and roam the area and look for another room to like hang out in, and we ended up in this like board game poker room. Also on the cruise app, you can text people even without having the Wi-Fi package, but I don't know why my notifications were working for it, and I just didn't see all the text messages I was getting from my parents. But I go to the little poker room and I see all these messages, and I'm like, I'm actually so bored. So I just text my parents and I'm like, guys, like, give me a little bit more, like I'm hyped right now, like I like hanging out with these people, like I just want to stay a little longer. They basically said fuck no, and I was like, okay, well I'm still gonna stay a little longer, sorry guys, I'll see you soon. So I did start ignoring their messages, and we're having a blast. Like I'm with the huzz, I'm with the bruz, like it's lit up in here, but it was not lit up in my father's and mother's head. Comes around 3 in the morning at this point, and it becomes what I like to call it, the incident of 2022. I go back up to my room, I'm thinking my parents are asleep, I'll be fine. Fuck no, they were not. As I'm walking up to my room, I don't have my shoes on for whatever reason, I don't know, but I see a bunch of cruise police waiting for me at my door. And as I walk past the cruise police, I see my mother and father looking very angry towards me. So my parents do start yelling at me, and then the cruise police takes me downstairs to cruise jail, basically. They interrogated me for what God felt like forever. And basically my parents had conducted a whole search of the cruise while I was in that little poker room trying to find me because they thought I was tossed overboard. And usually when I get into like a situation like this, I try to make a joke out of it, post it on my private story, laugh. I could not whip out my phone in that matter. I just wanted to take a little snap of the police officers escorting me away, but I was shaking. Like I was so anxious, I was so scared. I genuinely thought I had to spend like a night in cruise jail, but thankfully not. Then my parents grabbed me from cruise jail. They took me back to their room, gave me a little lecture, and then went to bed. And then the next morning, crickets. Literally crickets. And of course I was not allowed to see my cruise friends on this day. Mind you, it was the last day of the cruise. After the cruise ended, I did start becoming really close friends with one of the girls that I was like hanging out with, but she wasn't even there like on the night that I was like missing. But I literally was not allowed to like hang out with her, so I had to tell my mom that I was hanging out with like a completely other girl when I would go to hang out with her like after the cruise. I did get banned from cruises for a while, like whopping 4 years, but now I'm going on another cruise for the first time since my banning because I am an adult now, so I think my parents trust me a little bit more. Before my dad did book this new cruise though, he did give me a sit-down lecture and told me that I cannot replicate the incident of 2022, but we are in separate rooms, so I am also grown now, so. But I do know now to check my phone and actually respond to my father when he's texting me. Also, if you're a minor and you're going on a cruise soon, don't take anything I said, did as inspiration. Listen to your parents and stay safe. Thank you for listening to my story time. Peace.
Hey, Mom. Can I make an OnlyFans?
No.
Okay. Sorry, she said no.
Here's a quick story time of what happened today. So I leave my house. I always put these 2 rings on. I have a bigger stack, but I always put these 2 rings on. It's my gold Cartier love ring and then my white Christian Dior. I bought these rings for myself. It was a present to myself. One of them was a while ago and the other one was pretty recently. So I'm like driving around doing all my errands. I had to go pick up some prescriptions. Like I was scheduling a nail appointment for me and my mom. We were having like a little girls evening, right? So the weather in Colorado has been bad, so I go to the tanning beds. I go to the tanning beds today at around like 4 p.m. is when I got there. I got there like 3:54. There's nobody there. All the workers are sitting in one room and it's like a spray tan room. Like nobody's up front on the desk, at the desk, none of that. And then somebody comes out, they like check me in, I go into my room. It's always the same room that I go to. I take off my rings, set them down on the bench, and then I proceed to like get changed into like a swimsuit, and then I put my lotion on because I like to have the tan lines sometimes. I put my lotion on, get in the bed, hop out, right? Now my rings were placed on that little bench. I put the little sign that's like use protection on your eyes or whatever, I put it on that desk, same with the towel, my jeans, and the goggles exposed. So everything's just laying there. And then right after, I hop out, get changed, I wipe myself down, my rings are still right there. I just happened to simply forget them from the tanning salon. It happens, like sometimes I forget things, I'm not perfect, and I accidentally left them under that sign. I leave, maybe 25 minutes go by. I arrive to my nail appointment. I'm like checking in, going in to get my nails done. I realize, where are my rings? And I'm like, oh my god, I left them at the tanning salon. Let me call them. I call them right away and I'm like, hey, I was in this room like 25-30 minutes ago. I left 2 rings, give them a description, and I'm like, I'll be there in like an hour to pick them up, like after my nail appointment. I'm like, I'll come back and I'll come grab them. My name's Carolina. So actually the rings are not here. What do you mean they're not there? What do you mean they're not there? So I proceed to ask, I'm like, did anybody else use that room after me? No, nobody has been in that room. Okay, has it been cleaned? Yes, it's been cleaned. So it was cleaned by a worker, and not a singular person walked into that room. And so nobody was able to take the rings besides a worker that cleaned the room. So I'm like, all right, I'm not dealing with this shit. Like, I paid nearly $2,000 for both of these rings. My own money, okay? Like, this ain't this is my money. I leave my nail appointment. Like, I literally only have, like, the Gel X stuck on me, and I'm leaving. I leave, drive all the way back to Palm Beach Tan. I walk in, I'm like, suddenly, all 4 of them are standing right at the front, right? Keep my eyes to ask for the manager's phone number. She's like, I'm the district manager. So you see I have a problem and you're not helping me. I show up, check the room, rings are nowhere to be found. Check under the bed, the rings are nowhere to be found. It's literally just 2 rings. It's not like 5 of them. Like, it's 2 rings. That shouldn't be hard to find, especially if I know exactly where I put them. Keep in mind, the rings are nowhere in my stuff. Like, nowhere. Not in my jeans, not in my purse, not in my tanning bag, not in my car, nowhere. So I walk out and I call the police because I know what happened, and I'm sure as hell one of them knows exactly what happened too. The rings didn't just grow legs and walk out of that that tanning salon, did they? No. And of course, they're not gonna do anything about it. They're just gonna come in and kind of tell them, where are the rings? Like, have you guys seen them? Call me if you see them. Of course, I get nothing. Like, the girls that are working there are probably in high school. Like, they look like high schoolers. And they're probably getting like $15.50 an hour. Like, I get it. You see a nice ring, like, you don't really make a lot of money, you take it. Like, I've seen it happen. I've worked at many places where I've seen people do that. But if you get told that, I came back, right away, I called, I was very on top of it. Well, my rings are still in one of those girls' purses, probably. But yeah, that's the story. Keep in mind, I sat in that parking lot for an hour, and I watched nobody walk in through the door, so I know nobody else took those rings. Unfortunately, sometimes people are just gonna take nice things that they see in front of them, even if you come back to get them. And I don't know, this is definitely a lesson that I'm never going back to a tanning salon with any jewelry, any rings on, because you see what happens. I don't know. This is also the regular place that I normally do go to, because it's kind of right in between where I am at, and so it's just right there and very convenient. I have never had issues until today. Apparently the manager was in, the district manager, and then 2 girls that are just workers, and somehow nobody was able to tell me where my rings were at, which I'm sure that the managers or whatever probably don't know that one of the girls probably took the rings, probably the girl that cleaned the room, because where else would they be? With the officer, they did check under the bed and in the towels, which the rings were not there either. So it's just I'm sorry, but I think at this point it's pretty common sense, and it's really easy to point a finger at a worker, because who else would have taken the rings? I'm just really confused. Also, I've never ever in my life called the police, called the emergency or non-emergency phone number to report anything. This was my very first time. I would not be doing that if I didn't think this was a serious and an actual situation that's occurring. Unfortunately, this does happen, and it sucks because the police can't really do much about it. They don't have a probable cause to search the girls, and yeah, that sucks. I treated myself to both of those rings. My first one was the Christian Dior one that I bought in Italy in the Dior store. It was a sentimental value, and it just makes me so sad. Even right there, that's the first purchase that I have ever bought of something expensive for myself. And then here is the thing from my ring from Cartier. I bought that ring last month, which is really sad. It cost me a lot of money, and it was kind of like a gift to myself, because I'm accomplishing a lot of things right now, and it's just so sad how it just gets taken just like that. Yeah, I don't know, this is I have no idea who the workers are and no idea their names, but this is your sign. Don't take off anything that is expensive, because you might accidentally forget it, come back right away, and it might just be taken or magically disappeared. I don't know.
Story time of how my first boyfriend lasted less than 24 hours. So at the beginning of this year, I started going on dates with this guy that I had matched with on a dating app. We started going out, I think it was mid-February all the way until about the end of March, I think. So a month and a half to 2 months. And in that span, we went on a total of 6 dates. So I'm gonna walk you guys through all 6 dates and what those looked like. First date, we meet up at a sushi restaurant, and honestly, everything went really well. The vibes were good, the conversation was flowing. Towards the end of dinner, you could both kind of tell we didn't want the date to end, and so he suggested that we walk to the bar down the street and get espresso martinis, and I was like, okay, twist my arm. So we go to the bar down the street. Again, it's February during this time. It's cold outside. He gives me his jacket as we walk to the bar. We're having a good time at the bar, drinking espresso martinis. Like, it's good. Everything is good. At the end of the day, you know, he was like, okay, let's do this again. And I'm like, yes, great, perfect. Second date, this one is a little bit crazier. So we had planned to meet at this park that has this really nice walking trail. It's like around a pond. It's very vibey. We were doing this on a Sunday afternoon. I was like, oh, that's so cute. Like Sunday afternoon date vibes. Like we're going for a little walk, and there was like a brewery nearby. I was like, we're gonna go to this brewery, like very chill. Well, we were meeting at this park, and I pull up for this date. I made a TikTok. Also, pause and preface, if you followed me in February and March, you probably remember me posting TikToks and updates about dates with this man. Well, most of those TikToks, actually all of those TikToks have since been deleted because I did actually delete them in a fit of rage. So, my bad on that, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to spill all the tea right now. So anyways, second date, we're meeting at this park to walk, brewery, whatever. So I pull up to the park where we're walking at, and I'm there early because I'm crazy and I hate being late. So I'm like 10 minutes early, and I'm sitting there, and he texts me like 5 minutes after I get there, so 5 minutes before we're supposed to meet. And he's like, oh my gosh, like, you're not going to believe this, but like, I was on the way and somebody rear-ended me at a red light. And I was like, oh my God, like, you know, like, are you okay? Like, is everything fine? And I think like when he told me that, I was like, is he lying to me right now? Like, that's just like really bizarre, you know? And it did turn out to be true. Like somebody really did rear-end him, which now I'm like, not good, but you know, I don't wish that on people. No, I don't wish that. He ends up like sending me a photo. He FaceTimes me to show me, to like prove to me, because I think he could hear my voice. And I was like, oh, like, are you okay? Like, I think he could tell that I thought like maybe it was like a cop out. But anyways, I was like, oh my gosh, like, you know, like, I'm so sorry. Like, you know, don't even worry about the date today. Like, you know, take care of that. That's a lot to deal with, whatever. He was like, no, like, I still want to go on the date. So guys, I ended up picking him up from the site of the wreck because the car has to get towed. And so I pick him up, we end up going to eat and going to walk somewhere else. And that was that. It was good. Like, you know, I was like, oh, like this shows that he, also when I picked him up, he was standing outside of a gas station because he got hit at a red light that was right next to a gas station. Like, got me an Alani while he was at the gas station to like thank me for picking him up. And so I was like, oh, like this is so sweet. Like he still wants to go on a date with me after getting rear-ended and like gets me a present. Like this is so good, whatever. So second date, I was like, oh my gosh, like this guy is so solid. Third date, we go to a Mexican restaurant. I don't know, it's just like solid dinner vibes. And between the second and the third date, there was like a 2-week period where we didn't do anything because like he got sick and then I got sick. And even when we went on the date to the Mexican restaurant, I was like still like low-key kind of sick. Like I literally went to the doctor that day to get antibiotics, but I was like, I cannot cancel this date because like it has been so long since we've gone on a date. So I was like, I'm just gonna suck it up. Like I have antibiotics in my system now, like I'm going on this date. And so I was a trooper. So we go to this Mexican restaurant, everything is good. And this Mexican restaurant was really close to his house. I had not been to his house, but I knew that it was close to his house. And so we were done with dinner and he convinces me to come back over to his house, which normally this is not something that I would do, but I was like, I don't know, like my friends have my location, like they know where I'm at. Like I told them where I was going. I was like, listen, I'm going to this guy's house, you know, please, you know, check on me after a while. We just go over, we play games, we do trivia. Like it's a very chill vibes. It was chill, normal, whatever. So that was the third date. The fourth date, we go to, no, hold on. I'm trying to remember because I'm like, honestly, I forgot a lot of this because I like kind of blocked it out of my memory because trauma. Just kidding. I'm being dramatic. But fourth day, I went back over to his house one night and cooked dinner for this man from scratch. I made him chicken marsala, garlic bread with butter, and garlic roasted potatoes, and I had a veggie too. Oh, I did like a bag Caesar salad because I made like the marsala sauce all from scratch. Like y'all, I was in this man's kitchen like And he was outside while I was cooking. He was like outside doing yard work the whole time. Like I was like literally felt like we were cosplaying, like husband wife like type vibes. I was like, oh, like he's in the yard working and I'm in here like I'm making my man dinner. Like, girl, you look like a fool. You look stupid. You look dumb. But anyways, so that was the 4th date. I went over to his house, cooked him dinner. We like watched TV after that, just talked, chilled, whatever. 5th date, we went to a rodeo because I had told him many times how, like, I've always wanted to go to a rodeo. I tried to go to a rodeo before with my friend, and it was, like, at an outdoor venue, and it ended up raining, like, a torrential downpour. We got soaked, didn't get to see any of the rodeo. And so he was like, oh my gosh, like, there is an upcoming rodeo, like, we're definitely gonna go. So he gets the tickets, and we go to the rodeo. Like, he takes this, y'all, I bring my G7X camera because at the end of the day, I'm gonna get the fire picture, and I don't care if I'm on a date with a man who, like, I don't even fully feel that comfortable around yet. Like, baby, you're gonna take this picture. And honestly, like, I'm not gonna lie, he took the most fire picture of me, like, literally ever. And, you know, I'm actually gonna insert it right here. Like, yeah, I look, you know what? And the reason the picture is good is because of the subject matter, okay? And not because of who took it. And I'm going to stand by that. But anyways, the rodeo was good. The rodeo was fun. So that was the 5th date. The 6th date, my mom got tickets to this like outdoor, I can't speak right now, outdoorsman like show. It's like a place you go for like guys who like to hunt and fish. And he lived somewhere where he lived on a lot of land and he liked to hunt. His parents like lived on a lake and had a boat, and so he would fish too. And I was like, oh my gosh, like my mom has free tickets to this, like would you want to go? He was like, yes. So we go to this. It was really fun. Like we got food there, we walked all around, like he was loving it. He bought me like fishing boots. They're kind of similar to those like extra tough boots. They weren't that brand, but they were like basically the same exact things. Like gets me fishing boots, buys me a fishing pole. It was just like, I was like, wow, like this is legit stuff. Like I'm going with a guy to something like this. Like he's showing me his interests and his hobbies. Like he's buying things for me to like include me in his interests and hobbies. Like this is getting like kind of serious. Like this guy seems to be taking me seriously. I was like, great. And then the 6th day, this was towards the end of March at this point, I just went back over to his house and we did like a pizza movie night, and I made like homemade cookies from scratch. Y'all, like why was that home cooked meals, like cookies from scratch? I was really doing the most. Like I was out here feeling like Helen the housewife. Like I don't know what I was doing, y'all. Like please, Lord forgive me. Like I don't even know. But the date was good, and we had planned, this is end of March, we had planned to go over to each other's families' houses for Easter because it was the upcoming weekend. The last date was on a Thursday and Easter was on that Sunday. So on that Thursday, we had solidified plans to go over to each other's families on Sunday for Easter. And so you're probably thinking, this all sounds amazing. This all sounds great. Well, let me tell you how all of this came to an end in less than 24 hours. So you're going to have to come back for part 2.